friends. President of IMC and my friend Narendra Srimati Jyotiben Trivedi, Kanik, members of Managing Committee, members of IMC, distinguished invitees, and I see several friends here, and ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great pleasure as well as an honor to be here for the 7th H.M. Trivedi Memorial Lecture. This also gives me an opportunity to pay my humble tributes to the memory of a great son of India, the H.M. Trivedi. As was mentioned by the chairperson, Narendra, I'm no stranger to IMC. I've been here several times and participated in various programs. And today I'm very happy. I always enjoy coming to IMC because this is one place where there's a very good interaction, and I always go away with something, some new thoughts, new idea. And that's why I always look forward to having an opportunity to come here and interact with as many people as possible. Before I forget, I must also congratulate Narendra and all our friends here, particularly Jitendra Sangvi and all others. About 2 months back, there was a conference, 5th International Banking and Finance Conference, 2010. And I had made an appeal at that time, and they had taken that as a challenge. Because typically, conferences get over and the proceedings come 1 year after that, by which time almost the entire relevance is lost. So I suggested that don't wait for anybody, you must produce that in 2 months. And I'm very happy to note that this team has done it, and my special congratulations to Narendra and all his colleagues for this feat that they have accomplished. That said, let me turn to the subject. But before I speak of the subject, there are a couple of things that I want to add, which will be of interest to you. I've been very properly introduced, and thank you for a very generous introduction. I'm not only handling the 2 jobs as Member Planning Commission and Member of National Advisory Council, but recently there are 2 more tasks which have been given to me. The 4th task that has been given to me, the 3rd one is straightforward, that doesn't really concern you, but the 4th one concerns you very much. The 3rd task that has been given to me is they have placed me in charge of Ladakh region. What has happened is that, as you must have read, 3 people have been appointed as interlocutors, and they have started the dialogue, political dialogue. That got a lot of publicity, but their job is to continue talking for a year or so. But they have also appointed 2 special task forces, one under my chairmanship and another under the chairmanship of one of my colleagues. And I'm supposed to look after the Ladakh region, and in the next 1 month I'm supposed to prepare a development plan for the Ladakh region. That's a very, very exciting opportunity. But the 4th one that I'm handling now is something which is very close to your heart. Just last week, the Prime Minister had appointed a committee under my chairmanship to suggest amendments to the Factories Act 1948. That would be of immediate concern to you. So this is a high-powered committee. If you remember, last time the Factories Act was amended was in 1987, and they are looking at some fresh amendments which will be really far-reaching. And this committee is going to be, I'm going to chair the committee, and Kaushik Basu, the Chief Economic Advisor, Minister of Finance, is a member, and the Secretary of Labour is also a member of that committee. And we are expected to give our report within the next 6 weeks. As a matter of fact, we already had 1 meeting, and the next meeting we are going to hold a consultation, a national level consultation with all the employees association, as well as all the trade unions, as well as all the employers organizations. So that is something which is going to happen in the next few days, and many of you would be interested in giving me feedback on the amendments, the proposed amendments to the Factories Act. That said, let me now come to the subject proper. Demographic dividend or disaster. This is a very exciting subject, and there's a lot of talk about this subject. When Narendra was speaking, I was getting worried because when he started giving out numbers, I thought that by mistake he has decided to take over and give the speech himself. So I'm going to start from where he had left. Until very recently, population was always considered as a major, a big problem that we have. But this perception has completely has undergone a major change in the last 4 or 5 years, where now it is recognized worldwide that it's not the size of the population that matters. What matters is the age composition of population. And that is where we are, as a nation, very, very fortunate. What is happening is, and some of those numbers were given by Mr. Dandekar. Basically, what is happening is that all over the world, especially for the developed so-called developed countries, there the proportion of old people is rising, whereas in countries like India, the proportion of young people is rising. The average age of India today is only about 24, and by the year 2020, the average age of India would be about 29. At which point, the average age in the United States would be 37, average age in China would be 37, the average age in Western Europe would be 45, and the average age of Japan would be 48. That means that all these countries, which are so-called developed countries, they have large and growing old population, and we have large and growing young population. Now this has given us a great advantage, which is typically referred to as the demographic dividend. It may be defined as an actual or potential rise in the rate of economic growth due to growing share of working class people in the overall population. So every country goes through a demographic transition, and we are at a stage where for the next 15 or to 20 years, the proportion of working class population as the ratio, working class population as the ratio of total population is going to rise before it starts declining. For all the industrialized or the so-called developed countries, they have already reached their peak and they are on the downhill in terms of population. That is why dependency ratio there is falling. Now, what has happened? You see, for a country like India, what does this mean? This means that we will have for the next 15 or 20 years a clear-cut, distinct advantage in terms of having large and growing young population. Why is it important? Look at all these so-called industrial countries. When did they achieve their best performance in terms of economic growth and development? They achieved it particularly during the stage when they had large and growing young population. Now the table is turned. They have large and growing old population, and we have large and growing young population. So that is the great advantage that we have, which is referred to as the demographic dividend. But the point here is that this demographic dividend, this bulge which is there, and many more numbers can be given, but I think everybody knows that there is a bulge at the middle. The proportion of people at both ends is small, but there is the bulge in the middle, and that is going to give us a great advantage. Now, this advantage is oftentimes taken for granted, and we think that just because we have, two things about demographic dividend are important. First of all, it's important because it is fortuitous. There is nothing that you and me have done. This is just fortuitous occurrence that it is happening at this particular point of time. No policy government or policy makers can take credit for what is happening. This is in the transition. We are fortunate. So this is fortuitous. But the second one is very important. This is happening at a time when our growth rate is on a high profile. This is very, very important. If this had happened in the 1950s, probably the situation would not have been as favorable as it is today. So this demographic dividend occurring at this point of time in our economy has a very special significance, and that is also partly fortuitous.